Hello again, everybody. Last time we finished one of the best missions in the campaign and unlocked the Green Earth Lab mission. This, unfortunately, is one of the worst missions in the campaign. It's another Fog of War guess and check waste of time. I will say it's a little bit more creative than some of them, and encourages a little bit more brain power, even once you know how the actual layout is with where his troops are, but it's still just not very good. I did come up with a new strategy here that I'm looking forward to showing off, though, where one tackles it in a somewhat unusual and fairly elegant way. Of course, they're always trying to say Green Earth, so I feel like they should be agreeing pretty often here. Whatever. I do like there's a different explanation this time for why it is that we have a time limit before the lab mission fails. You can choose your CO here, but it's just an illusion of choice. Eagle's the only decent option. The map is pretty cool looking, as you can see. It's divided up by these pipes into several different sections. We have bases scattered all over. We don't know what the enemy has. They only have 16 units. So it's actually, the usual strategy here is just to rout them. They have, as it turns out, about 4 copters, 2 MD tanks, 2 rockets, an artillery, an anti-air, a few light ground units and things like that. And so the usual strategy is to drive your MD tank up, and usually your anti-air and whatnot too. Probably build yourself another anti-air. Use your recons as scouts, and use your scissors that you shut off with over here for fire support. And use this paper to take in a few of the copters, but it's paper, it's terrible at its job, so you won't really do that very well. But I have a different strategy here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to build myself a T-copter. I'm going to build myself over here an infantry to capture the central airport. Down here, you might think it's an interesting opportunity to build units close to his back lines, but it won't really work most of the time. You can get away with building a recon, and that's about it. 1 unit, and then he sends his army down there and you have to hide in the forest, basically. You can't get away with anything else because he has enemy tanks heading that way, so nothing you build is good enough. So just here is a big army running around out there. So I go for capturing that airport. I'll build a rocket to start breaking through the pipe seam fast. Don't try an artillery. He has a rocket of his own there, and he can easily just outrange your artillery and kill it. Over here, I'll start breaking down this pipe seam. Conceal my recon. Conceal my anti-air. Now, I know that he's got a mech hidden in that forest or so. If I advance my scissors, I can cover the factory so he can't steal that from me. I'm going to actually leave my paper in copter range there. It makes a good distraction. And I'll conceal my recon. It's important to distract his copters for 1 turn and have them fly over to the west, while I slip my troops through the soon-to-be-broken pipe seam. That's unusual. Typically he's still out of here by now. Hadn't been distracted by the recon or something like that, I think. Well, assuming that he doesn't do anything else wildly out of the ordinary, this should work just fine. The brute force strategy is pretty easy to make work, but I thought it'd be interesting to do something more creative instead. Well, we can break down that pipe easily enough. Fly through that copter. This is now a safe place to advance to, since he won't go back and scout that. We can start working on the pipe. Advance the recon. Conceal the anti-air there. I had an idea to distract his tank, but I'm not sure it would work without me taking some damage. You know, I think I could do it. I'll do it like this. Yeah, I'll stand right there. That'll hopefully distract his tank over in the wrong direction. So we'll try that. We'll adapt the strategy. As always, he foolishly puts his rocket over there. I think its goal is to hunt down and kill the infantry that you've got, but he won't get away with that, because we're going to just drive up and shoot him in the face, like so. Now he's stuck. He's penned in this narrow area. He can't move his troops forward or backward as long as his rocket is shooting, so let's give it something to shoot at, and he'll stay there forever and ever. Let's get this guy loaded up. We'll build ourselves our first bomber over there. Now that he's penned in, I'm going to build myself an anti-air over here, actually. And I need to keep my MD tank safe, so I'll drive it down that way. And take a shot at his MD tank. Weakening it, setting it up for a future kill. Alright, here's a recon to shoot at. And now I have blocked the way, and the recon disappears, never to be seen again. And while I'm at it, why don't I just finish off that mech and not need to worry about it anymore? Cool. Alright, so he takes the bait there, his rocket system placed, and therefore his whole army is gummed up for another turn, unable to move forward or backward. He crowds in his copters, but they can never get through the anti-air, so he's stuck there forever now. I have exactly enough to build another bomber, which is all part of the plan, of course. So we break through that. We break through this guy. Beat down the rocket too. Let's see his CO power. Ah, he's getting close actually. We might need to change plans here. I'm going to need to actually attack this copter just to push him over the threshold so he will save for a superpower. Normally I don't need to do that. Things have gone a little bit wrong this time, but you can see my strategy adapts pretty well. Now I need to find his next rocket, which is usually over here. Yep. And I'll drive up this anti-air to be able to hunt down that infantry that I've revealed. That should work. Let's build that bomber and we should be good. So he does get to shoot a few things, which is not great just because of how things worked out, but it's alright. That's the real problem, that he gets to do that now. I need to find some countermeasure for that, I guess. As long as it doesn't push him over the threshold to where it gets his super, it doesn't really matter. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is pull that out of the way. I'll build myself maybe an MD over here. Pull that out of the way. Now I will drive that back. Fingers crossed here. If this works out, I can save a whole turn. If not, it'll be just fine. Okay. So, you'll see, I can basically save an entire turn if that works out, but the fact that it doesn't really cause any problems here. And we just continue to block. That doesn't matter. So we hammer that rocket. He's just short. Fly in, drop, and we'll capture it on the last day. As I said, if I'd been able to break through one turn earlier, could have been a little bit faster, but oh well. Should be good. His infantry just walking over to heal. He's taking a long time to think about that. Well, that's pretty stylish, don't you think? Finishing up with him just barely short of a superpower. 0 casualties taken. And his whole army more or less intact, except for the few that needed to kill to get the job done. Of course, Eagle is so good, and Jess is so comparatively weak, that Eagle is better with Neotanks than Jess is, really. But they'll actually both get a lot of good use out of them, potentially, in the coming missions.
Mission complete.
Another lab mission background there. Seen that a couple times. So that's that. A bad mission behind us, but fun new strategy at the very least. It was interesting to come up with that. Kind of a fun puzzle to solve. Alright, next time we'll have some more interesting fare, I think. Maybe trying out Neotanks on Jess's next mission. Till next time, have a great day, everyone.